Hey guys, it's Will's Video Edits here. Today I'm just going to do a little tutorial on VMware Workstation 7. I don't know about the other versions, but I'm just familiar with 7. I don't think it changed that much. But I'm just going to do a 101 on that. I recently got it, and I've just been messing around with it and learning some new stuff with it. And I thought I might as well share, so here we go. So, I'm just going to open it up. So I realized I'm trying to put Mac OS on mine. I didn't have that much lag actually as I thought it would, but I'm running. If you right click on computer, go to properties, it'll tell you specs. I'm running 2.8 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo, 4 gigs of RAM, 64-bit. I'm putting 1.5 gigs of RAM onto my Mac partition, and really not getting that much lag, and it's pretty cool just on Spotlight searches. But anyways, so here's a layout. So you'll actually see something more like without crap. Alright, so this is a layout. It's pretty simple. If you're installing, let's say, a Windows partition, you just go to like new virtual machine. I do custom just because I know what I'm doing, but you can do typical if you don't want to go into that much detail. Custom, so I'll just show you guys what everything means. Just do compatibility with this stuff, just like the newest versions, unless you are gonna try to use it with the older versions. So click next. Now for this part, it kind of depends. You can use Daemon Tools, which runs the disk virtually, and ISO you can like mount it, which might have a little bit more reliability, or you could just do an ISO image on your computer, which is, in this case I'm using Darwin Snow, or you can use a real disk. If you have the Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 2000, whatever, you have the disk, you can just pop it in there and then just start it up with that as if you're installing a normal hard drive, or you can install it later. I'll just install it later because I don't have the disk right now. I'm just showing you guys it. Alright, now here you select your operating system. It's pretty simple, just select what you have. It shows you all there. I tried Linux before and it's pretty cool. I don't really have any need for it. I was gonna install like Windows XP, but then I realized there's really no need for it for me because I don't have any compatibility issues that I have to deal with. But anyways, so for Mac, you go to Other, and then you just go to Other 64-bit. But mostly, if you are doing Mac installs, usually it comes with, you can download a package that has like tells you, it always sets all this stuff up for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. Anyways, for this I'm just gonna do Microsoft Windows 7 64-bit. Next, you can name it Windows 7. Just gonna name it something simple. You can change where. I just keep it in documents just because. Next, now I have to be careful with this stuff. Changing the processors, because you never want to give it more than your computer actually has. My computer is 2 cores, 1 processor. So if I did that, it would be giving the virtual computer the same amount of power as my normal computer, which is alright in a sense, but at the same time it's kind of dangerous because it could lag your operating system original one, which would cause VMware to lag, which would cause your operating system you're running virtually to lag, which is kind of pain. But I'm just going to set it to 1. And I don't have overclocking either. Also, tip important is it's good to enable virtualization in your BIOS. I cannot do that because my laptop is like custom, so it doesn't really have any BIOS options except you can change the time, which is pretty gay, but that's all I can do. So, but a lot of desktops, I know my brother's desktop, you can adjust the virtualization settings, which allows your computer to let you just like enable virtualization. But I have the download here. It's called Securable, and what it does is just tells you if hardware virtualization works. It says yes, so just tells you that it works. That's good to know. Before you download VMware, it's good to check that. Make sure your computer can actually do it. You can still try it, even if it says no, but I'm not going to guarantee anything. Alright, next. RAM. You never want to set the RAM more than what you have. Really, with any of the settings, you never want to set it more than what you have. But you don't want to set the 4 because the swapping will occur, which just means that if RAM is needed on your virtual disk, then it'll rat some of the RAM from your original, which might cause some problems. So I just set it pretty low, depending on what programs be running on my virtual machine. So 1 gig's fine. And then for this, it's kind of a pain because NAT is kind of direct. It uses your host's IP address, but bridge networking, I tried that macOS, it doesn't work. I don't know what the problem is. So I'm sticking with NAT because it just directly uses the same IP address, but you can try it and see what it works. But you can change all these settings after if you want it to. I'll show you how to. Next, your IDE controller or IO controller types. I just keep it the recommended because it says recommended. I don't like to mess with this stuff because I don't have a complete understanding what that is. But yeah, I just keep the recommended stuff. Next, you can create a new virtual disk. You can use a physical disk. You can use existing virtual disk. I just create a new virtual disk because unless you have an existing operating system virtually that you want to put these settings onto, then just create a new one and then click next. SCSI, I always do that. I don't know what it means, but it's good because it's recommended. Alright, and then size wise, I'm just going to set it for 10 now because I don't have to like waiting a while for it to set that up. But what this does is set the amount hard disk space the partition can take. You can change this later. Might mess with some stuff, but you can still do it. And I just store it as a single file so you don't have annoying extra files. Also, single file makes it easier to move around your virtual machine. If you want to move to another computer, you can just take that single file, put it in a flash drive, move it over, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool. And then next, and then you saying where you want to put the 10 gigabyte disk file. Next. And then you can just browse your settings. Looks pretty good. If you customize your hardware, you can set up your display. Accelerate 3D graphics, kind of nice. I wouldn't say you can game on it. Some drivers you have to set up, especially Mac. I know you can't set up really drivers with that, so this doesn't really matter. But that's cool because you can game on some systems. Memory, I already went through all this stuff. Yeah, I just keep it. Add the stuff it's at. Sound card. Speakers, there we go. Alright, that was finished. And that was fast, and I created it. But now you would just turn it on as you normally turn on an operating system, and it would go through the install like you normally would install an operating system. You can look that up if you are clueless on that. This cool up here, you can change it quick switch, which makes it so you can easily just, the menus up here, you can switch out of it. This is a full screen, make it full screen. And then there's a cool thing, you go to VMware, where is it? You have to have the operating system open. What it does is it makes it exclusive mode, which means that you can't even tell that you're running it virtually because it doesn't bring up this panel when you go to the top, which is kind of cool. So you actually think it feels like you're actually running an operating system. It doesn't feel like lame. But Unity, which is cool, so you can run XP programs within Windows 7. Like it doesn't have the Windows XP bar there. It's just like you can run the applications without having to run it separately. The Windows XP or whatever the other operating system files separately, but on Windows 7. And then we have the summary view, appliance view, and console view. These, once you start up your virtual machine, I'll do that now just to show you guys. Let's try start at Mac. I don't know if it's really gonna work. It's kind of a pain. I've been working this for a few hours now, but now see how they're highlighted. You can go summary view, which just shows all this information. And then I go back over to crap. Yeah. Alright. So just start my Mac, but that's it for that. And then to turn off your operating system, VM, this has a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff is important. Like, I'd recommend taking snapshots after you. A snapshot is just like a recovery disk in a sense. So if you take a snapshot, it saves your hard drive state, so you can cover from where that hard drive state was from just by revert to snapshot. So I made a few on the Mac because it doesn't really work too well, but I'd definitely recommend that. And then it's just for adjusting the settings. It's important stuff if you need to adjust it. And that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to contact me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And it can be any question. Just send me maybe some ideas for tutorials and new videos. I can figure out things pretty quick, and Google's always your friend, so I can look up stuff and just set a tutorial how to do it. If you need help with programs, operating system, game installs, torrents, anything, just PM me and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.